Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I am excited for today's video. I've got a little BYOP or BMOP, build my own palette, somebody build my palette. I don't even know what to call this video, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So a few months ago, the lovely, wonderful, gorgeous Lock Maiden reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to do a collab together. And of course, I just jumped on that opportunity. So we both love and have a good array of Devinah shadows. And so she had asked me, would you be willing to do a little palette video where we each pick each other's palettes from the shadows that we own? And I was like, that is such a fun idea. And so that's what we're gonna be doing today. So if you are not familiar with Lock Maiden, first of all, right after you watch this video, go head over to her channel. I think for me, the #1 thing that I really enjoy about Lock's content is that she has such a calm presence. Like her voice, it's just like soothing water over the river rocks, like really calm, and it's just such a wonderful way to see content. And you know, I can enjoy a like loud, goofy video every once in a while, but especially in the mornings when I watch YouTube, I just really like a chill atmosphere, and that is exactly what I get from her content. And I love that she has an array of, you know, some luxury brands, she has indie brands, everything everywhere in between. And I think that she has a really balanced view on makeup, like as far as a collection. I mean, let's face it, we all have goals as far as like maybe not buying as much or maybe trying to, you know, use what we have and all of those things. But I think that she is just really mindful about makeup. And so I really enjoy that. I also just have to comment on the fact that Lock is just gorgeous. Like, oh, her pictures, her makeup looks that she does, everything from like really soft and natural to, you know, really avant-garde. You have to check out, she has 2 Instagram accounts actually. She has a swatching account, and then she also has her main account. So I will of course have all of that information linked down below because you definitely need to check those out. And she is really just such a kind person and has been such a wonderful part of this beauty community. So please make sure that you head over to her channel after this so that you can see her palette that I built. So without further ado, this is the palette that she built for me. And so we, like I said, we sent each other our list of Devinah shadows. You know, it's sort of a reckoning, right? Like when you end up listing out all of the single shadows that you have from a brand and you look and it's like, wow. Now I obviously have been very lucky to receive some of my Devinah collection. I think Lock has also received some Devinah in PR. I'm sure she will say that in her video, if that is the case. But a lot of these shadows I have purchased, and so I think that this is a really fun way to probably use shades that maybe you don't reach for all the time because it's someone else taking a look at your collection and really getting excited about some of the shades. I think it's also a fun way to get a curated set of colors that is different than maybe what you would design. And so I'm really excited to jump into this with all of you. But if we haven't met before, maybe you're coming over from Lock's channel. My name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, we're gonna dive into this. Now today, I am actually just gonna do one full look on my eyes. In a lot of these build your own palette videos, I do one look on each eye, but I do have to hop over to work after this. So I'm gonna do one full look. I'll probably come back tomorrow morning and film a second one. Maybe that one will be sped up. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this goes in editing. I don't need this to be another hour-long video like my mystery bag unboxing. Speaking of, today I'm also gonna be using some of the other creams that I got in my mystery bags from Sydney Grace because I got so many beautiful ones and I want to be able to show what they look like. So if you found me through Sydney Grace content, or if you're just curious to see an indie brand cream product, stick around for that as well. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to zoom you in so we can see what Lock picked out. All right, now for the fun part. I was so glad that I had this little 9-pan that I got with the Winter of the Wicked bundle to be able to put Lock's palette in. Now, when I was choosing Lock's palette, I actually pulled up images of the different shadow swatches and was sort of like swapping them around on a grid so that I could really visualize like how it would lay out, how it would look, and just, you know, I just really wanted to honor her and give her a beautiful curated collection. So I was really like just trying to see the aesthetics of it. So that's the image that I sent her. She also did the same for me. So really quickly, I'll just pop up right here the palette that she had selected out, and then you'll get to see it in its full glory. So I'm just gonna pop it right here. Karma in the middle just looks like almost like there's nothing in the center of that. It's like the blackest black. So let's get into these shades. And again, I will swatch them out so you can see all of them. I'm really excited. This is such a fun palette. I'm going to be swatching in rows from left to right. This first shade is a matte and it is the shade Ethereal. I would say that this is like a dusty, taupey, mauvey gray. Does that make any sense? Maybe not so much mauvey as just like that like dusty, I don't know, it's like a dusty taupey grayish. And you can see that one here. I have to be honest, these are not shades that I use a lot of. They intrigue me a lot. I like the idea of them because I have purchased quite a few of them, especially from Devinah, because Deandra just picks out like those really interesting grungy tones, and this is definitely one of them, but it's on the lighter side, so I think it's really gonna help like blend out some of these shades. Then we have a shade that I love. This is probably one of my most used Devinah shadows. This is Australis. So this is one of the Aurora flares. You can see here it's this beautiful multi-chrome that goes from that beautiful magenta into green and like a yellowy amber. This is, I wouldn't say by any means that it's a unique multi-chrome shift. I think that this one, you know, we've seen in a lot of brands, but the formula on these Aurora flares is so beautiful. It's very, very thin, very just, oh, I mean, look at that. You can see that right there. It's very thin, very easy to put on the eye. I really enjoy this one. I've been wearing that shade quite a bit recently. I mean, for someone who has like a bajillion single shadows, maybe not a bajillion, a half a bajillion, there's just something about it that's like easy. I know how it's gonna perform. I know it's gonna look great on the eyes, and it's, for a multi-chrome, it's more of that like fun color, but still like neutral-ish. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but hopefully you get my gist. This next shade is Capri. This is one that I really enjoy. It's a light, almost like lemon chiffon shade. It's more of a pastel. It can be built up a little bit, but it is, you know, a little bit on the lighter side. This is one that I really enjoy. I think that this is actually my second pan because I dropped my palette at one point and needed to buy another one. There was one in my palette that I dropped and needed a second one. Wow, I'm really spacing these out. We're gonna need my whole arm for this, but that's Capri. Just a fun shade. I think this is a way to like make this palette a little bit brighter, sunnier, just really fun. Now this next one I received in PR from Devinah. I think there's only 2 in here that I received in PR. The rest I've purchased, but I do want to note that. So this is Amphitrite. I think I was saying Amphitrite in my previous swatch video, but this is one of the new Mystic Cove shades. Beautiful multi-chrome. And I do have a swatch video on this entire collection. Devinah was nice enough to send over this whole collection and the Sea of Shadows. So I'll make sure to have those linked down below if you do want to see that. But this shade is just so beautiful. Now it is a bit on the flaky side, but definitely blendable. So it's not like one of those flakies that shows up super textured on the lid. It just has a lot of beautiful shimmer. And of course, as always, I'll be doing up close swatches, but you can see this is almost like this beautiful rainbow of color. Like it has almost everything in it. I see like a pink, an amber, a green, like almost like a tealy color, a blue, and a little bit of purple on the edge. It's like a rainbow on my arm. I'm really excited to see Lock Maiden's video because, to be honest, I sort of forgot what I chose for her, and I don't want to go back through our emails because I want to be surprised when I see her video. So this next one is Karma, and this is the one that I was saying like looked like a black hole in the center of the palette. This is the blackest black. It is just amazing. This is definitely one that I had to purchase another one of. I think in that drop scenario that I was talking about, I had 2 shadows that kind of got chipped up, and Karma was one. And let me tell you, if there's a shade that you don't want slowly chipping off into your palette, it is this one, because it's very, very pigmented. So, you know, it's a black. It's a beautiful black. I talk about this a lot on my channel, but the Devinah shades are on the, I would say, like softer, a little bit more powdery side, not like dusty dry, but definitely on the powdery side. The thing that I like about that is they really can be blurred out quite a bit, or they can be built up. So I really enjoy that because then it's almost like having 2 matte shadows in one. All right, now this next one is, again, another shade that I think that several brands have. This formula is really beautiful though, and this is one that I haven't worn in a while. This is Rockstar. This is one of those, I don't know, I guess I would say it's like a blue-brown, right? This kind of makes me think of a MAC pigment from back in the day. It's very pretty. It's got such a like nice thin formula, and I love the fact that, you know, you can kind of buff this out so that you see more of that warm brown, almost like mahogany base. I mean, look at that. It's like, you've got that browny mahogany base, and then it really does have that blue, almost like slightly teal shift to it. It's a fun one to have in this palette. This next matte I've used in a couple BYOPs at this point, I think. It is a very beautiful shade and one that I've used quite a bit. By the way, this is Thisbe. I will show it to you as I yammer on, but this shade is one that, like I said, I really like and enjoy. I feel like in the images that Locke sent me, it looked so different, and I was like kind of like picking up all my pans of shadow, like, where is Thisbe? I've used this one a lot, and like the name and the color just weren't connecting. So I finally found it, but this is a beautiful, like grayed out teal. It just has that dot of gray that makes this a little bit grungy, a little bit unique. So pretty. I also think that this makes shades like this. If you aren't normally a mega color wearer, something like this that just has that little bit of like desaturation can really make colors more wearable. So it just is, you know, a little less intimidating on the eyes, I think. All right, here's one that is definitely not subtle, but it's so beautiful. This is the shade Esmeray, and this is one of the Halo Moons. You know, it's an iridescent. You're not really going to be able to see a lot from it right here. This is so stunning. This was the other one that was sent to me. This, again, is another flaky one, so you do have to be kind of careful with it, but it is not, it's flaky, but it's blendable onto the eye. You know, sometimes you get these flaky shades and they still look a little bit flaky on the eye. That is not what you get from this, as long as you blend it out nice. That might be one. There you go. You can kind of see there. We have this beautiful, like almost magenta-y red, a little bit of pink, and then you've got that amber. This is one that I will show you in a up close zoomed in swatch. I'm so disappointed because it is actually really lovely and sunny out right now, but when I have this window open right here, if it's just at like the perfect time in the morning, it just like blasts in and it's just too much light. So I don't know what to tell you. Oh, this last one. I was about to swatch it before I even show it to you. This is Remi, and I don't think that I've actually used Remi a lot. It is much more bright. It's definitely on like the, it's like if Purple and Periwinkle had a baby. That's what I'm gonna say. It's just a little bit on the bluer side of purple, and it's really pretty. This, though, is one of those mattes that just tends to have a lot of kick up in the pan. So you do have to like kind of tread lightly with this. Swipe lightly, if you will. So that's that one right there. I mean, this is a fun color story. I have to say, at first, I was like, okay. And then I just had to like take a second to be like, wait, this is actually gonna work. This is totally gonna work. And like I said, that's what's sort of fun about having someone else pick your shades, especially someone who really has like an artistic eye, a creative eye, also wears eyeshadow, does looks, you know, I mean, Jeremy obviously just did the mystery palette for the BYOP series. That was a different vibe. That was a little different vibe. But like something like this where it's really artistic and it is a very well-balanced palette. It was just like, at first sight, I was like, okay, how am I gonna combine these shades? But I have a plan. We'll see how that plan goes. Let me show you up close these shades and we will get into today's eye look. All right, starting from the wrist, we have Esmeray, Australis, Capri, Amphitrite, Karma, Rockstar, Thisbe, Esmeray. I'm gonna try to get Esmeray for you there. And then this one is Remi. Oh, Esmeray's having a hard time. There we go. You can kind of see through that. So much fun. Thank you so much, Locke. I'm really excited to get into this. All right, before I get started, I just realized that I never set down the small amount of concealer that I have on my eyes. It's a very small amount, but I'm still gonna just run a little bit of powder. This is just the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. And then everywhere other than my under eyes, I just have a little bit of the Salt New York Sneaky Balm on, just to kind of like get a little something going on before we get started here. Okay. I did not put concealer under my eyes because we do have some very, very shimmery shadows here. And so I just want to make sure to leave some space in case I need to like do some wiping away of some fallout. We shall see. All right, so for today, I think I'm gonna end up doing 2 looks. If I know Locke, she's gonna do at least 3 looks and like show some photos and stuff. She usually she usually does quite a bit, and I applaud her a lot. I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna do 2. Okay, and I'm going to try to use every single shade in these 2 looks. I think I can do it. So today we're gonna go on the, I think, a little smokier, grungier side. We'll see how this goes. I know today I want to use Rockstar. That's what this whole look is gonna center around, is that shade. Just because I think it's gonna, you know, kind of go with the vibe today. We'll see where we go with that. So to begin, which of these seems to appear a little deeper? Because I think I'm gonna kind of use both of these. I'm just trying to decide where I want to go with this. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to lay down Remi. See, we're going to use 2 shades that I haven't used in quite a while and really haven't used a lot of. So I'm going to do Remi, and I think I'm just going to like do that all over the whole lid and like blow it up into my crease. When in doubt, blow it out. I don't know what to tell you. We're just going to get started. I'm using a Wayne Goss 18 brush and definitely tapped off the excess because like I said, Remi just tends to, you know, have that looser feel to it, and I don't want it to end up all over my under eye and look like I got punched in the face. And as I'd mentioned, I'm not going to be concerned about getting this onto my lid. I mean, I'm fine with some of it getting on there. I think it might cool down the like warmth of that brown base in Rockstar, and that's going to be fine with me. So I'm fine with just tapping a little bit of this on the lid as well. Okay, before I go any further, I sort of want to see what Rockstar is going to look like over the top. So let's take a flat brush and we will lay this down. I'm going to go through with my Smith 253, and then I am going to wet this with just a little bit of Fix Plus. More for, you know, fallout avoidance than anything. I think that this would, you know, perform beautifully on the eyes. Dry, I just want to make sure it stays on the eyelid. I think that this would be really awesome with Thisbe under it as well. That was sort of my initial thought, but honestly, it's more than anything. It's just my dress that I'm kind of like, let's lean more into the purple since I have this like dusty blue situation going on today. And once I have the shadow laid down and my brush has kind of gotten cleaned off and also dried off a little bit, I just like to take the edge of it along where the end of that shimmer is. I don't really want to have like a harsh line, so I just want to blend it out with my hooded eyes. Just like anything, in my opinion, anything that is more of like cut creased, it just starts to look like a little awkward and sort of enhances my hood a little bit. Sometimes I can do it, but usually I look back at pictures and I'm like, I wish I hadn't done that. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and take a smaller brush. Let's see what I've got here. So I did yesterday just clean all of my dirty brushes. However, they're not all up here yet. So we're just kind of using the bottom of the barrel. So I have this Luxie 237 brush. I'm just gonna take Ethereal, and that like dusty taupe shade is gonna be what we blend out the edge of Remi with. Like I said, this color just really works well to sort of, you know, buff the edges of other tones. I think sometimes when we see, especially like finger swatches of colors, it can just be like, what would I ever use that shade for? You know, like I said, I mean, I think that these are fun tones, but it isn't something that I always lean hard into, but they're perfect for something like this. Oh, life regrets. I should have tapped off my brush there. I got that shade all over my under eye. It's fine. We're gonna be cleaning this up in just a moment. I like this. It's sort of this like zombie glam. I'm going with that. Hopefully you guys can see. Again, I'm so bummed that it's gotten so dark in here, but it was either too dark or too light. I don't know what to say. So I am gonna go ahead and go and clean up this situation and then pop a little bit of concealer on and we'll finish the rest of this look. All right, definitely feeling good now that I have a little bit of color on my face. So far, really, really enjoying these Sydney Grace cream products. I think at this point I will have put the names of those as I was applying them, but I'll make sure to have them linked down below as well. I'm not sure which were bag exclusives and which will eventually be available on the site, just so that you know. So now back into the eyeshadow. So I think I'm just gonna do something really simple for the under eye. I'll probably just go through with Thisbe on the lower lash line. And then as much as it sort of like hurts me because I don't necessarily feel like it really makes this shadow shine, no pun intended, I think I'm gonna put Amphitrite on the inner corner. The thing is like, it's a newer shadow. It's been hyped up a lot, you know, because it is so beautiful. So there's a lot of content out there using that shadow. I've really been trying to use some that maybe, you know, have gotten lost in the depths of the Devinah collection. So I'm just gonna pop this one on the inner corner and we'll just get a little bit of that sparkle. I think also, you know, sometimes it can just be nice to have like a little bit of something that's a lot, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just nice to have, you know, if it's like an extra shiny shadow, just to have that little pop. And this is the Larife E19 brush. This is a really nice brush. See how that just looks like, it looks like unicorn tears, right? Totally, it totally does. Okay, let's go ahead and throw Thisbe on the lower lash line. Okay, now taking Thisbe on the Blend Bunny B3 brush. I want this to actually be fairly blown out, like just kind of, you know, it's just this like kind of like stormy look. I mean, like I said, zombie glam. I mean that in the best way possible. It's amazing how just a little bit of shadow on the lower lash line can really like tie together a look. I really, really like this. Locke, you did a great job. You did a great job. This is so, so pretty. All right, here we have this final look. I have to say, this is one of my favorite looks that I've done in a while. It is like lightly smoky. It's cooler toned, but not so cool toned that it feels like odd on me. I love the really bright inner corner. Like I freaking love that. Other than obviously the Sydney Grace products, I just threw on, I'm sure this is so old, but this Lolly Balm. I just found this in my lip cabinet back there and I was like, you know what? I really like this like pinky orchid shade. And I think that, you know, having like a smoky eye and then just like a subtle lip with like a brighter pop of color just sort of balances everything out. So this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. If tomorrow's look is anywhere near this, I am going to love it. So I will probably, just because I have a feeling I've been chatting a lot, I'll probably just like I have a feeling in the hopes of keeping the length of this video a little bit shorter, I will go ahead and just like speed through this next look, but you'll get to see all the shadows used. Let's get into it right now. right, here we have the second look. And I have to say, I'm not surprised, but I love it just as much as the first one. Like I said, Australis is just such a nice shade to be able to pop on. It just seems to always work with whatever mattes I pair it with. I have to say, I really like this combination with the yellow kind of smudged into the semi inner corner. You know what I'm saying? I think it just adds a little bit of like grunge to this that I really like, just because it got blended into the base of the multichrome and of course the black, so it just got a little like murky, and I really like that. Esmeray, of course, always makes just such a beautiful inner corner. I thought about tapping it over the top of the Australis shade just to like add extra sparkle, but I'm just gonna let Australis shine. So again, I went through with a few more of the Sydney Grace products that I got. I hadn't worn this blush and highlight combo, and I really like it. For my lips, I just went through with a little bit of lip liner. I think is this Pillow Talk? Yes, this is Pillow Talk, and then a limited edition Fenty gloss that I had kicking around. I wanted something bright and pink to kind of like pull out the pink in that. So let me zoom you out here so that we can see the finished look from not so close. Okay, I love this. I love this. Like, this is just such a fun combo. I wish I had a little bit more time to honor it, to be able to show you all looks, but I am gonna keep this one out like this for a while, just to be able to play with it in my own time. So thank you again to Lock Maiden for, first of all, asking me to do this collab and taking the time for creating my little custom palette here. Lock and I just both have such a love for Devinah shadows. I mean, you can really get some beautiful, sparkly, fun to use shades, some really reliable mattes, and I think that, you know, it's just a fun way to share a love for something with someone. So I had a lot of fun with this. I did also want to say, I think I've probably notated it somewhere earlier in the video, but I do have a discount code with Devinah. It's not affiliated, but it will save you 20% on applicable items, and that is Keep Beauty Real. So if you see anything that you've wanted to add to your collection, you can go ahead and use that code on most items. All right, so I hope that you will all head over to Lock's channel now. I will make sure to have her video linked down below if you want to see what palette I created for her. I cannot wait to see the looks that she comes up with. She really is seriously so creative, so I'm going to be so curious to see what she does. So thank you all so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it with me. I hope you enjoyed this little Devinah duo day, if you will, and I will see you really soon.